Cocktails. My name is Kinsey. I'm your host for today.
Sugar Astrid.
Mariah.
Danae.
Sweezy.
And today's topic is dating during quarantine, which I know we all are super excited to talk about. Before we get started, I would like to say, if you cuss, you must take a shot. That's the rule.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's gonna be
goodness.
hard.
Yeah, I'm trying my best.
So watch your mouth, but then again, have fun.
Okay.
With that being said, let's get into it. So now, who here is single and who's in a relationship?
Oh.
I'm single right now.
Is it typical? I'm in the middle.
Okay.
Oh, she's complicated.
No, I'm not complicated. It's just like I'm with somebody. Like I'm not talking to anybody else, but it's not official.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's understandable.
I'm single.
I'm single.
I'm entangled like a mouse.
Here's an entanglement.
It's an entanglement.
Okay. So, how has dating or being single affected your quarantine experience? Like, what's going on with your love life? Let's start with you.
I'm a member on the show. Let's start with you.
I mean, I'm the host, so what I say go.
But I'm rocking with you though.
All right, so
Let's go.
if you insist. Okay, so I'm single. At the very beginning of quarantine, I did contact my most recent ex-boyfriend because, okay, so we were all very shocked, I'm sure, at the beginning of quarantine. We're like, what the heck is going on? Why is everything shutting down? What's going on in politics right now? Is it the end of the world? Like, no one's ever had an experience quite like this before. It's very new to everyone. So I contacted my ex. We broke up in September, so it's been almost a year, but we're still amicable. We're on civil terms. And I contacted him and I said, I don't know if it's the end of the world. I don't know what's going on, but I gotta get it one more time, okay? At least one more time, because it was really good. I'm not gonna lie. We were each other's best, so I had to contact him one more time. So I can't say that I've been dating, but I definitely have been hanging out with my ex a little bit, and we're not getting back together. It's not like that, but definitely at the beginning of quarantine, we had a little entanglement, if you want to call it that.
Okay.
But yeah, right now we're just friends, and that's how it is. But the beginning of quarantine did get a little spicy, if you know what I mean.
So y'all didn't talk about potentially getting back together?
I don't think that's in the cards right now. Never say never, of course, because we're good friends. We're perfectly fine, and nothing really crazy happened with our relationship. Like, no one cheated. No one, majorly lied. There was no, huge mistakes.
It was just a mutual agreement.
It was just kind of like we weren't right for each other at that time, so it fell apart, which is fine. That happens in relationships, and not every relationship ends in a horrible disaster like cheating or something.
Yeah.
So, for me, with him being my best sexual experience during quarantine, I definitely wanted to reach back out.
Just in case.
Just in case, because if it's the end of the world, you have to have it one more time, right?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I reached out to him, and he had the same feelings towards me. He was like, yes, I was wanting to reach out to you too. So we hooked up a couple times, and then we decided, okay, let's just be friends. It's not like that anymore. But you never know. I'm a never say never kind of person. So if we both get the vibe to hook up again, we just watched a movie and had dinner together 2 weeks ago. But it was no kissing, no hugging, no anything cuddling, no sex. It was just friendship when we hung out this last time. But sex is always on the table with someone that you're super duper attracted with, So I can never say never, but right now we're not having sex. But at the beginning of quarantine, we were definitely hooking up.
Yeah.
What about you, Astrid? How's dating been for you during quarantine?
Quarantine, I was the same. I mean, if you weren't, it's the same to me. Because I I mean, that's what I do. I mean, I stay home all the time. So I would go out. Of course, I would go out. But I mostly stayed home most of the time. So it was kind of like the same thing for me. It was like, okay, but I'd rather be alone. If you're not good for me, I'd rather be alone. 'Cause, I don't deal with the energy, all that.
So
You
weren't talking to anybody?
I would literally, there'll be times where I'm like, damn, I'm really like, I really want to hit him up because, probably have
got
some
shit to do.
good
Yeah.
times together, but it's not good for me, so I'd rather be alone.
So
do
that
some
situation
stuff,
just not good to get back
focus
into.
on other stuff.
Yeah.
But,
I see. During quarantine, I was so bored. Oh my gosh. So I'm single, but it was a time where I did kind of talk to a lot of guys. Not a lot per se, probably like 3 or so. But just actively like talking, flirting or something. Just like, because I'm just so bored.
You're
I'm like,
dating.
okay, yeah. So I'm just like, okay, I need some entertainment. Like, why not?
Yeah.
But a lot of guys just were a waste of time too. So
Yeah.
it's like, all right.
That's
this
true.
was fun. So let me just move on. But yeah, we couldn't go anywhere. So just basically like FaceTimes or just having someone to talk to. Just get, but I kind of enjoyed it, just getting to know people and just really, because I haven't been in just so many relationships, but just learning how different guys are and how
Absolutely.
Yeah.
just the spectrum is wild. And I'm like, okay, I really don't like this about you. Just learning what I do like in guys for sure.
that.
Talking
like
to
that.
different guys at once, it's like, okay.
Yes.
You learn.
Which is beneficial. So I'm like, okay, I know now. I don't need to deal with that.
Yep.
Guys like
Ooh,
this
I want
is just
that. I like
no for sure. And I'm like, okay, I like how you do that. Or like, you just even how they speak. To me, like, yeah.
It's a learning process.
For sure. So, but this is the first time I've just been actively dating. Even if it's not just going out actually in person, but just talking to someone so frequently. Yeah, so it was pretty interesting. I'm like, okay, quarantine, getting to know people.
It's a very unique experience. This is a very weird time. I don't think that anyone that's alive right now hasn't experienced something quite like the event that's going on right now.
For sure.
So it's very it's different. We're all kind of feeling out the dating situation.
Yeah. Definitely in the books.
Yeah.
We'll talk about later.
What about for you?
For me, I was in a relationship for a while before quarantine. I just got out of a 5-year relationship at the beginning of the year. So it's like really, really different. I feel like back then, it was easy. You're in high school. I was in high school when I first got in a relationship. So now it's just like, I'm bored. It's new.
Yeah.
So it's definitely different. Like,
What's it like being, okay, so you said you were in a 5-year relationship. When did that end?
February of this year.
So what's it like, because the quarantine kind of started in March.
Yeah.
March-ish. So what's it like, I know things are so crazy right now.
Yeah.
And separating and having a breakup in this same time period, it's got to be just like mind-blowing.
So, okay, I moved out in August of last year. But, we were still kind of like, maybe we could work on it. Maybe it was like, just still testing it out. Maybe we just needed space and doing it separately. So we tried that. And in February, I was just like, I literally can't anymore.
So you broke up with him or he broke up with you?
It was me. I initiated it, but it was kind of like an agreement as well. Like, we both have things we have to work on, and right now is just not the time.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
So have you been talking to anyone else during the quarantine or?
Just say it.
It's controversial cocktails, baby.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, I did start like talking to one guy, and I'm a relationship type of person. Like, that's what I've known majority of my life. So I'm like one of those people, when I find one person I'm interested in, I focus on them. And that's just like me naturally. Like, I can't go and date several people. I get bored really fast. So like, once I find one person that I'm actually interested in, I don't really care to talk to anybody else. So then that starts messing with me too, because right now he's bored as well. So of course he's out there talking to other people, and then it gets complicated, and it's just like So just figuring it out, honestly.
What about for you? Let's hear the male opinion. Let's go.
You looking in deep thought over here.
He's thinking.
This show about y'all. Like I'm all about the ladies.
Really?
Oh,
So
yeah.
you just gonna listen to us?
We got a ladies man.
I want to hear what y'all want to talk about.
confused.
What's on y'all mind? Like, you know,
Wait, okay,
Yeah,
no, back up. Rewind a little bit. Have you been talking to any females or fornicating with any females during quarantine?
Yeah.
Okay, so how's that going for you?
Is it still the same?
It's the
Like,
same.
is it
It didn't change for you
like your approach?
since quarantine. Like it's still the same since before quarantine.
Pretty much.
Not like, have you been
Okay.
out?
I haven't been going out already.
No, I'm saying like, would you ask the women if they've been like out or something?
I haven't been out.
Because we're supposed to be quarantining. Like, have you know?
Like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, go and take that shot.
yeah.
Oh, that's a shot! That's a shot! Tequila or Hennessy?
I got some Hennessy.
Hennessy.
Team.
Oh, it's already poured for you.
Oh, beautiful.
It's ready.
Damn,
You
that's
knew
tough.
you were gonna cuss. It's already poured.
It's poured.
It's poured. It's ready for you.
Continue.
No, we're just gonna.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're still on your turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're still in the hot seat. So are you online dating? Are you taking girls out?
Yeah, did you go to the restaurant?
Do you date?
Did you enjoy
Everybody
it?
does.
I'm saying everybody don't date.
Everybody don't date.
So
Yeah.
it's just like you
Okay.
asked me how was it before, prior to quarantine, and now it's still the same.
Yeah.
Nothing changed. Ain't much changed for me.
Mhm.
So you weren't really dating.
On my end, no, that ain't what you call it.
That's not what you call it.
Oh, okay. Just meeting
Yeah,
people.
it
Netflix
Yeah.
and chill. Like
Yeah.
what is the vibe?
What do you call
What is
it?
the vibe?
Interacting.
Okay.
You're just having conversations. You know.
Conversing.
That's not what I said. I said interacting.
Okay.
We're not just talking.
Exactly. What? There's nothing to be said.
Okay. Explain.
No, what it is though, it's self-explanatory. I said interacting. If I said
Interacting.
conversing in urban areas,
There's a
they say
slight-
conversating.
right.
That's not
There's
gonna
a
be a
slight
word.
converse.
But conversing or conversating or whatever is different. But I said interacting. And it's just like, wherever your imagination go with it. Ain't nothing spectacular.
But it's controversial cocktails now, so we gotta
Yeah,
get
that's what I'm saying,
specific.
but
We gotta get
I
specific.
can't make up nothing and make some shit sound juicy if it ain't like it is what
Oh,
it
this
is.
pretty
Nothing-
juicy.
Nothing
Okay.
is pride.
It's different.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting,
So okay, so
Interesting.
how do you go about talking to females during
Man,
quarantine?
you know what?
though?
I don't honestly, and it's crazy to say. Like, I have a problem with courting regularly. Like some shit, like some dudes do like corny to me. Like I'm not going, like I'm not finna gas nobody up or lie to you just to try to cut you or none of that type stuff. Like it ain't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If the vibe is cool and you know what I'm saying, and we have an agreement and you understand my stipulations and guidelines or whatever I go on, whatever I expect my expectations, and then you know what I'm saying, we can proceed with whatever. But so far as like just shooting at somebody just because I think she's fine and I want to get in my bed or like some crazy, some foolishness like that, like I'm being past that. Like I told you I've been cutting since sixth grade.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing to me.
Yeah.
I probably tell you
It
this.
ain't nothing. So quarantine, not much has changed for you. Not much has changed. Same old, same old. Got you. All right.
I feel like a preacher at church this time.
Why? You're
I'm
preaching to
saying,
the congregation
I'm
here.
always tempt with temptation, though. That's all. Like you know, sometimes
There's temptation
some
everywhere.
folks have to work harder than others.
Yeah,
That's life.
that's true. That is facts.
Oh.
So, as far as online dating, how many people have online dating profiles? Do we have Tinder? Does anyone have Bumble? Does anyone have any of these apps?
I have Hinge, which
Hinge.
I recently learned about. But it's been out for a while. I don't know if y'all heard of it. But it's a dating app.
Mm-hmm.
Something similar to Tinder. I've never had Tinder. I feel like Tinder has this different kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
But Hinge is pretty cool actually. It's like it has a nice layout and just really efficient, like just different profiles and stuff. You make your own profile. It's really
Yeah.
cool. It's really popular. I have a friend in California, and she was like, "Yeah, it's been out for a long time. Like, I've met a lot of people prior to quarantine." But yeah, it's basically how I meet people, talking to them.
Because during quarantine, we can't obviously go to wherever we want in the public because a lot of places are shut down. So
I don't believe
we might have to
anything
turn to online dating.
I see on the internet. I'm sorry, but I don't believe anything I see on the internet.
Like,
and you guys, you ladies look better in person than y'all actually do on
thanks.
IG.
Thank you.
Let me tell y'all this.
Thank you.
Because I've been seeing some chicks
Like on my pictures,
But I just seen some chicks on IG.
Okay, so you're seeing girls on IG.
No, there are some catfishes.
When you see them in person, be like,
It's
nah,
like,
that ain't
no,
right,
for
bro.
sure.
Like,
But you
that
can
ain't-
tell,
that
like,
ain't
people
cool,
look
bro.
weird.
But that's what I'm saying. So it's
This
weird
is
that y'all look
true.
better in person than y'all actually do on IG. Because I see some on IG,
Look,
I
I'm
be
gonna
like,
take it.
that ain't
I'll take it too.
if I
Thank
get
you so
something,
much.
man.
I
But so
appreciate
it's-
it.
but, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, but it's,
So-
you know, yeah.
So let's talk about catfishing. Catfishing, how many times do you think, is it more likely to see someone online that looks better in their photos, or is it more likely to see someone that looks better in person? Like in your personal experience.
I've always seen people look better.
Better in person,
yeah.
No, better. No, hell no.
Really?
They look better
know,
on,
yeah,
on
this
social
is
media.
true.
Like,
Yeah, that's
you see them on
true.
social media,
When you think
like,
about
man,
Instagram,
she look
all the
good.
filters,
You know, I
that's
see her in
all
person, I'm like,
there's
man,
so
girl,
much.
knock it off.
Wait,
Like,
Well, guys,
Wait.
I meant talking about guys. Well, like for
Yeah,
guys, I
yeah,
feel
they
like
look
I
better.
see guys in person. I'm like, okay, he looks a little
This is
better.
true.
I think because
Okay,
maybe
that's
guys don't
true.
know how to take pictures sometimes.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
one at a time. One at a time. Okay, so
I get that all the time.
your
I look better in
experience
person.
is they look better in photos on Instagram.
They look better, yeah. Yeah, and then we see them in person.
Mhm.
Like,
But they don't
man,
know- they
hey,
don't know how to take
knock it
angles.
out.
Right.
Yeah.
And girls have
But girls-
perfected their angles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's Facetune, and there's all these apps, and there's
Yeah.
edits and filters.
Yeah, I feel like a
But
lot
I'm
of
rude
guys.
though, so my facial expression will give it away.
We know.
We know.
We know.
Okay, so your experience, do you find that you see guys better looking online or better in person or a mix of both?
It just depends. I don't know. I feel like guys definitely don't know how to take pictures. Like we know our angles, we know how to sit, how
They
to
just don't care as much.
sit up, do all
Yeah.
that. Like guys know.
Like you say one shot, boom.
Right,
Yeah.
done. We're over here for 30
One-
minutes trying to get
one
one
and
good
done.
picture. Yeah.
But
so-
that's because you don't really care about it. You just like, you know. I mean, it's not like you don't
Yeah.
you don't look ugly in your pictures, but you just look way better in your. I'm not saying you're ugly in your pictures, but you just
yeah.
look better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it just depends. Yeah, a lot of guys just aren't as photogenic, or just the lighting's
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
different.
Photogenic.
yeah.
The lighting's different. People look different with different lighting. So when we see in person, it's like, oh shoot.
Mhm.
But I
But
feel
see,
like
I'd
for
rather though,
girls,
but I feel like, oh, go ahead.
I just feel like girls. Okay, guys, yes, they look better in person, but girls, I've seen so many that I see in person. I'm like, damn, like I thought I was gonna see her and it was gonna be, you know, she looks really good on Instagram, and then you see her in person, it's like, okay,
That's because a lot of girls are just really caught up in social media.
yeah, like
too.
we take good pictures, but
Some people be editing.
But I see girls
yeah, then there's so many edits, like just
Mhm.
this, yeah,
It's like, okay, girl,
Well, for me,
it wouldn't
it's
even
cool
have to
though.
be
I
that big.
prefer when I
It's
see
okay.
somebody in person and be like, oh, you look better in person.
Yeah.
than you do on
Yeah.
picture. I'm like,
Yeah.
shit, I think my pictures is alright. Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I don't, you know.
Ashton, what's your experience with the Instagram versus in person thing?
with the guys. I see
With the guys.
that look. I have experience with it. I feel like, well, not like I talk to them, but I've seen guys. I'm like, okay, he's cool. And I see him picture. I'm like, okay, he looks a little better. Like, just same thing.
I feel
Yeah.
like that does happen a lot.
or maybe even like you know you go out and you see a guy you think
Yeah.
he's cute, and then you get on his social
Yeah,
media,
it's
and
like,
you're like,
oh,
oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
happens a lot.
cool though, because if you see them in person, if you
I
see-
know,
if
and
you
it
think he
sucks,
looks
but
good
it's
in
like-
person, and then you see him, he don't know how to take pictures. That ain't that man fault, man.
No,
That
yeah,
man-
I'm saying it's his fault.
I'm just saying, it's like,
I can help you with them.
That-
right, let me teach you.
Or if we
Teach
see, like, if we come across a guy and we try to send it to our friends or something, like, yeah, we're like,
Yeah,
okay, look,
hold on.
I promise he's fine.
Right.
Like, he just don't take good pictures. Like,
He looks better in person.
like that. I feel like that happens a lot.
With my social media, my pictures so cool.
I know, like some guys put filters, and they be like, "Why are you putting this filter, like the Instagram filters?" And I'm like, "Why are you putting Instagram filters? Like, you don't put the Instagram filters."
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I almost feel like when guys are overly into their social media, I have caution. Because I understand that girls are more into photos and more into social media and Instagram and filters and stuff. But when guys are super full of themselves and super into their social media, it almost makes me like kind of cringy.
No, for sure.
When they're like pretty boys, like you're doing.
Yeah.
I love pretty boys.
No, I don't like that.
I don't. It depends.
Pretty boys are my specific type. I love a pretty man. I really do. But I would rather you be humble, and I could see you in person and you look better than your photos. That's great. If your photos look better than you do in person, we might have an issue here. You know, I'm not saying that it's a deal breaker, but I would prefer the man to look better in person than he would in his photos.
I think that just goes into like ego too. Like you can't. It's fine if you want to look good or you dress nice, you have confidence in yourself, but you're just overboard with it, and you taking more exactly.
Yeah,
you taking selfies more than I do. We got an issue.
I agree. I agree with that. Do y'all want some cookies? These are delicious. They're from Sugar Beast in Houston, Texas.
Ooh. Wow, sure. They look great.
They're so good. They're like super chewy. They're soft. Big chunks of chocolate. Do you want
10 already? I already have 10.
I'm good right now. I think I've had 5.
That's ridiculous.
They're so good though.
This is good.
I've not eaten
Look at the inside.
No, honestly. Wow. Pecans?
Amazing. But yeah, I don't know. Quarantine's been very weird. It's been a very odd time for all of us, and I know that we're all trying to adjust and kind of like find our ground. Not only with dating, but with everything in life. We've had, I know, a lot of closures with businesses, and a lot of people are out of work, and a lot of people have, even if they're still working, their work has been slowed down. A lot of companies, a lot of industries have been affected. So, are you guys, would you say you're more focused on dating right now since there's not a whole lot going on socially? Or would you say you're more focused on, you're about your money, you're about your business, you're about your paper?
Paper. Coins.
You're about your coins. So you're not,
I mean,
Into the bag.
if it happens, it happens.
Mhm.
But right now, I'm focused on myself, my coins, and if somebody comes along that I vibe with, cool, I'll vibe with you. But if it don't work, okay, it don't work. All right, keep focusing on myself. It happens again. So both.
Focus on that bag, man.
On the coins.
it's about the Benjamins,
I feel
baby.
like ain't gonna disappoint you.
Yeah, I definitely feel like focusing on myself. I feel like for 5 years, I spent my life kind of focusing on somebody else and making them happy. And now, it's me. Like anything that makes me happy, I'm with.
Nothing's wrong with putting yourself first.
No, and honestly, this has been a great time to really have just self-reflection. Just being in this space, everyone's just really taking a break and thinking about, you don't have a choice to think about yourself, your life right now, your future.
Absolutely.
Everyone's thinking about their future.
It's putting everything in perspective.
Exactly. So I think it's just very much needed for sure for individually.
Yeah. What about you?
Well,
No, but you didn't say whether you are focused on your money and yourself and your growth, or if you're focused on dating right now.
I'm always focused on growth and get to the bag.
Always bag.
Growth,
Okay.
Growth
in the bag. Okay.
Because money and everything is just a part of the prosperity.
Yeah.
Because I value my integrity and my character more than I do money. I value my integrity and character.
Absolutely.
I'm going to get a bag. Like,
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Like, I don't.
Absolutely.
It's not even that I have a one-track mind, but I'm focused, and it's just like I don't. I prioritize my priorities.
Yes. So it sounds like we're all pretty much on the same page about like growth and focusing on ourselves and getting to our money as best as we can during this hard time. I'm personally focused on spiritual growth. I'm trying to make as much money as I can during this time because, everyone's...
It's not predictable.
It's unpredictable right now. It's crazy. So I'm just trying to better myself in any way possible that I can right now because I feel like this is the time to get ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the best
opportunity to plan. Everyone's opening businesses right now. Yeah, a lot of people are really taking advantage of it. So it's really good situation.
I agree. So as far as dating, staying on the dating topic during COVID, Have you had any previous ex-boyfriends or girlfriends reach out to you during COVID time?
Yes.
Even
For
before
sure.
COVID,
Yeah,
they
for
always
sure.
come back.
They always come back, she said. They always come back.
Hold on. I'm confused though, because if you was in a relationship for 5 years and you just got out of it in February, how many you had since then?
That don't mean they still don't want her. They still want her.
I'm just saying they come back from the middle school.
Middle.
I was in high school for 4 years.
You know what I'm saying? But you've been in a relationship for 5 and you just got out of it this year in February. I was
That is
listening when
true.
you was talking. So you say they always want to come back. So I'm saying they coming back from where though, sweetheart?
Her past.
Right.
How far?
Why?
Listen,
You
why
have a
you're-
lot of questions.
Hey,
Why
Gerard,
me?
now you
I gotta take
can't
another.
Right, Kira? You was not want to get deep. We gonna take a break. I got a question.
You have to answer questions.
Let me ask the question. You want to get deep
when it's my turn.
Let me ask the
But
question.
you wanna
Okay, so we're gonna get into the question segment. We have some
All right.
questions from our viewers. Let's
Okay.
go, Astrid.
All right. So, why do girls ask their friends that are in toxic relationships about healthy relationship advice? You wouldn't ask your mechanic to handle a plumbing problem.
Man, that's a sharp person. Whoever asked it.
No.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
then I love that
Do
analogy.
it, fellow
I do agree.
HW. All right. We're gonna start over here.
Yeah, I think so.
We started over here last time.
No, talking about just think about what he asked though. He
He
asked
said
why the
girls.
girls though. So I can get my opinion
okay,
at the end
okay.
why I feel like y'all do it, but he wanted to ask. He was asking y'all. not me.
Okay. So, read the question one more time.
Why do girls ask their friends that are in toxic relationships about healthy relationship advice?
I personally feel like your circle is your circle, right? So, if you have girlfriends or friends that are in toxic relationships or they have a toxic past, you're gonna still go to those people because they're your inner circle.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter like what their past is, it doesn't matter who they are as a person as far as their relationships, they're your friend. So you're gonna go to them for advice. But with that being said, I don't think the toxic relationship people are the best people to ask for good relationship advice. Because if you're trying to go about a healthy relationship, it's not wise to ask someone that is obviously not in a healthy relationship or doesn't have a healthy relationship past. So it's all about judgment.
Yeah.
Like, so you have to be discerning of who you're asking and who you're communicating with. Doesn't mean you can't ask them for advice, but take their advice with a grain of salt.
Yep.
Right.
And just kind of like decipher what they're telling you based off of what you know of their experience.
Yeah.
But me personally, I would ask someone for advice that I admire in their relationships and in their history. If I'm looking to someone for advice, I'm going to go to someone that I admire and that I respect and that I would pursue to be more like, you know?
Okay.
I'm not going to go personally. I wouldn't go to someone that has a history of toxic relationships left and right, you know? I'm going to go to someone that has a good, healthy relationship and ask them what they're doing right so that maybe I could take their advice, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So the question was,
Me-
why do they ask girls in toxic relationships though? for
Yeah.
opinion, right? So why do they ask them? Like, a simple answer for that is probably because they slow.
Well, sometimes,
honestly,
but
they're not thinking.
But sometimes, like,
like
like me, I like just to ask. I like to ask different people like their opinions. I just like to see different people's opinions. But sometimes they could be in a toxic relationship, but they know right from wrong. But they, they know right from wrong, but they still pick. You know, they could be in a relationship with somebody who's toxic, and they know that they are toxic and they know it's wrong, but they're
okay
still
with
with
it.
them. But just because it's
Yeah.
just different
No, I definitely
things.
agree.
But
Yeah.
they know right from wrong.
Yeah.
They'll give the right advice, but they're gonna go back to
For
it
sure.
still.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different. If they're aware they're in a toxic
Yeah.
relationship, it's like, okay, clearly
Yeah.
you know. So
Some people like
Yeah.
toxic.
yeah, some people
That's
do
what
like
it
That
is.
is
toxic.
true.
Maybe they're bored. They
Yeah.
want something
Yeah.
exciting.
It's just.
But as far as advice, yeah, I'm not sure who's asking toxic people for advice unless you just want a toxic relationship. But yeah, for sure. If they know and you trust the person, it just depends. Maybe advice on a particular thing that they're having in the relationship that they like, and it happens to be toxic, then I guess that's why. But other than that, I don't really know why. That doesn't make sense.
But a lot of times, a lot of times, girls' friends, they just give everybody unwanted advice.
They give what?
Unwanted advice.
Yeah.
Involuntary advice. And it's the blind leading the blind. But I've also
Yeah.
learned too that misery loves guests. So you gotta be
Absolutely.
careful who
That's
you know who you
Yeah.
take the advice from. But so it's just like
I feel like we ask because
I think
it's
I-
our friends. Like,
Yeah.
And it
Mhm.
depends on the
You wanna know.
situation.
Depends on who your circle is, but then you better be choosing your circle wisely. Is the
For
thing.
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I trust my friends' advice.
Mhm.
If they're in toxic relationships, I'll still like, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I still ask just to see what they
Maybe
say.
this is their first time in this situation. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold it against you if you're aware of this and trying to get out of it,
but
trying to
what may be
figure out
toxic
how.
for somebody else may
Maybe.
make somebody
Yeah,
else
makes
thrive.
sense.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah,
You have some
that's
people
true.
that think survive, thrive, and win. And you have some people that in toxic relationships that like, you know what I'm saying, is either gonna take them out. But some people,
Yeah.
you know, that's they thrive off of.
Yeah, people are different.
You know, so it's just like, you know, and it all depends what our definition of toxic is.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I know you're a recovering alcoholic and I always want to go party, go get drunk, and bring you out to eat, and drink, and like, you know what I'm saying, that can be
Yeah.
toxic. I'm have my intentions are good, but
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, it ain't good for you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Depends
saying?
what
It
you.
all varies.
Depends on you. So.
It all varies. Yeah.
I agree. Thank you so much for tuning in to Controversial Cocktails, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.